love The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It is a tremendous show. It deserves every accolade it receives, and today it received another one. SAG nominations are out. Outstanding performance by an ensemble in a comedy series of which Kevin is a part. They won the award last year. They will be able to defend their SAG Award ensemble title. And it is just all that and a biscuit. It's amazing. And we'll have Kevin out on the show. He is wearing 49ers paraphernalia.
All right.
I don't know if he's aware that Madison Bumgarner could be a Dodger by the end of the week. We'll ask him about all that. But we turn to the phone lines right now and find one of the best in his business as well, MLB insider for ESPN, ESPN.com, ESPN the magazine, Jeff Passan joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Jeff?
I'm so glad you brought up The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel because I was watching the new season on my flight out here to the winter meetings in San Diego.
Yep.
And came to the realization that Kevin Pollak's character is my favorite character on television right now.
Well, he's in our green room and just heard that, Jeff. He's dynamite.
Listen, now granted, this is like super wheelhouse for me, but anyone who grew up in a Jewish family knows exactly who that is.
Yeah.
Like anybody who... Like, we just know. We all have that uncle who is the worst.
I know.
And he is the worst.
And anybody who could play somebody named Mrs. Maisel as well as she does, and her last name is really Brosnahan in real life, I think she deserves every award. As well.
Yeah.
I know it really is. Okay, let's get to the show that Major League Baseball is putting on. Why now, Jeff, after it darn near went into Valentine's Day last year for everybody? Why now? What's happening here?
I think there are a couple of different factors. Number one, Gerrit Cole, I'm sorry, is just better than just about anyone who's been a free agent over the last half decade. I mean, I have been calling him the best free agent pitcher in baseball history, and people are pushing back on that. Randy Johnson was a free agent after he went to Houston and killed it, and Greg Maddux was a free agent, the year after he won a Cy Young, and those are reasonable, fair arguments. But what Gerrit Cole has is he's got age on his side at 29 years old. He's got better stuff than those guys did. Randy Johnson, great fastball, great slider. Gerrit Cole's got 4+, 2++ pitches. He's got the leadership element. He's got the intelligence. He's got everything humanly possible going for him, and he's coming off of an incredible year. And it's the reason that the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are arguably the two best-run teams in baseball right now, were fighting each other for him. And it's the reason he got $324 million, Rich, when the previous record coming into the winter meetings for a pitcher was almost 50% less. David Price at $217 million. So it has been an incredible turn of events at the top of the market. But beyond that, you have the Cincinnatis of the world trying to compete. You have the Chicago White Sox, who haven't spent forever trying to compete and giving Yasmani Grandal $73 million. You've got the Philadelphia Phillies giving Zach Wheeler $118 million. You've got competitiveness. And shock of shocks, when teams want to win, they will go out and spend money to do it.
So you just unloaded a lot right there. Let me follow up on some of these things. So did the Yankees bid the highest? I mean, is that what happened? That they just ended up giving the most money, and that's why they got him?
No, I think they got him because they're the New York Yankees and because they gave the most money. It was a fortuitous combination. I think he wanted to go to the Yankees, and I think that the Dodgers and Angels made representative bids. He would have gotten $300 million from all three of the teams, but when it was all said and done, Gerrit Cole wanted to be a Yankee. And, I love watching narratives die, and the idea that he was only going to be on the West Coast, it is just such a crock of crap. Never believe that. Like, these guys want two things, and I'm saying all of them do. They want money, and they want to win. And they want money because money's awesome, and they want to win because they're competitors, and they would not be what they are if they weren't.
That said, Pittsburgh and Houston is not New York City. And Cole, obviously. Does he have the stuff of if he does come up with, let's say, a non-quality start against the Red Sox, that he follows up with a non-quality start in his first trip back to Minute Maid and then strolls into Yankee Stadium and has another. Does he have that quality to just brush all that off and dominate anyway?
Not only, Rich, does he have the stuff, I think he is, personality-wise, one of the rare guys who actually could get even better when he goes to New York. I think he craves the moment. I think he thrives on pressure. I think he loves being in that spot where you need to be the guy. He has been saddled with the first 5 years of his career in Pittsburgh, and he went to Houston and was unleashed and was a new man and was with a team that was winning in a franchise that was among the best in baseball and will continue to be the Astros among the best in baseball. And that opened something up in him, and I think he's only going to get more in New York because Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner have put together a juggernaut.
And in terms of that, I mean, the young studs are all several years away from having to get paid free agency, right? Judge and Sanchez and Torres.
Gleyber Torres, yeah. I mean, they're going to be cheap for the next couple of years. Where the Yankees are going to run into problems, though, is you have two guys who are essentially getting paid $650 million combined on their contract, and Giancarlo Stanton and Gerrit Cole. And Stanton's, exceedingly unlikely to opt out after next season. So he's going to be owed, well over $200 million. Excuse me, I think it's $190 million for the last 7 years of that deal. And Cole's got $325, $36 a year coming for each of the next 9 seasons. It's a pretty big chunk of change there for the Yankees. So they're going to have to be creative to keep this core together, but they can't look at that right now. They have to look at this small window. You can't look in 5-year increments anymore. It's almost like a 2-year increment that you have to say, okay, if we have the opportunity to win now, let's go out and do it.
It's like football with a rookie quarterback that blossoms quickly before they have to pay him in a big fat contract that saddles a cap. You better win your championship in the first 5 years. It's exactly like that. That's what it seems like to me.
That is 100% correct. We were talking about that in the lobby last night. How it's what the Angels have in Shohei Ohtani. They had to pay him only a couple $1 million to come over, where if he were on the open market, he probably would have gotten $200 million. You have to take advantage of that time when players are not getting paid market value, and that's what the Yankees are doing right now and giving Gerrit Cole all this money.
All right, Jeff Passan here on from ESPN on the Rich Eisen Show. What's the Rendon market looking like right now?
The third base market, Rich, is just in such quicksand right now because you have a finite number of teams who need elite-level third basemen, and you've got a bunch of them who are actually available. You can go out and get Rendon for $250 million. You can go out and get Josh Donaldson. Right now, the market for him is 3 times 25. He's looking for a 4th year. You could go out and trade for Chris Bryant, and you could potentially, probably not, but potentially go out and trade for Nolan Arenado as well. The Rockies are listening on him at this point. So you've got 4 all-star caliber third basemen who are available. And if you're the Los Angeles Dodgers, for example, and Justin Turner is willing to move over to first base. If you're the Texas Rangers and you need a big name to move into your new ballpark, if you're the Atlanta Braves and you have some salary room to spend that money, if you're the Washington Nationals who want to replace Rendon, there are a lot of options out there, and I think once one of them goes, all of them are going to go. But everyone's just waiting for one team to make the first move.
Could the Nats be still in the Rendon market, or that just the way that ship has sailed because of the Strasburg contract?
I mean, they could. It's going to be a really burdensome thing financially for them to do that because you give Strasburg $245 million, you give Rendon $250. I mean, that's a $500 million offseason right there. And I know they won the World Series, and that's an awfully nice thing to do, but is that a $500 million bump for them? No, probably not.
And then a couple last one for you here, Jeff Passan. Bumgarner is a Dodger. Is that a possibility for them to turn to their longtime nemesis we couldn't get Cole, let's turn to Madison? Is that possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. Bumgarner's market's really good right now, because of the financial level that he's at, which is going to be around $100 million, give or take $10 million. he's got suitors, not just the Dodgers, but the Twins are in on him. The Blue Jays, the White Sox could be in on him. The Braves, the Rangers. I mean, any number of teams could go out. Cincinnati could go out and get him as that guy who can be toward the top of your rotation, even if he's not going to be a Gerrit Cole or Steven Strasburg.
All right, and then last one for you, Jeff. You've been you just said there's a lot of talking going on in the lobby there. My sound engineer, Mike Del Tufo, who rarely pays attention to anything that comes out of my mouth or says anything germane to the sports conversation, just said out of the blue that this was the Cole the Yankees wanted in their stocking. Is that a phrase that you've heard anywhere? Do you think he might have picked that out? He swears he came up with that himself, Jeff.
No, that is a Scott Boras dad joke special right there, and you should be embarrassed that you're parroting it. Awful.
Okay, Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate the time, brother. I know you're busy. Thanks for calling in.
Pleasure's always mine, boys. Take care.
Take care. That's Jeff Passan.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.